Welcome to the show where I take a look at someone's personal finances and find ways for them to overcome financial troubles or meet the financial goals that they're trying to achieve. And remember to subscribe, as one of the first 50,000 subscribers here will win $1,000, and we are less than 1,000 subscribers to go. With that, my name is Caleb Hammer. Today we're meeting with Jordan. Jordan, how old are you? Where are you based out of?
I'm 26, based out of Los Angeles, California.
Ooh, expensive. What do you do for a living?
I'm a special ed assistant for middle school.
What do you bring in on a yearly basis with that?
Somewhere around 23,000.
Oh man, how do you live on LA with $23,000 a year?
Yeah, so I just moved back, not just, but like a year ago, I moved back to my mom's house. So I'm currently living with my mom. I just bought a car recently from a friend for $950, and that's been the biggest expense so far. But I'm basically just saving at this point.
Okay, yeah, because even with that, and then yikes, what are you? You're probably what is your monthly take home?
My monthly take home, oh God, probably somewhere like 1,700 or so.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's unlivable. That's unlivable in the vast majority of cities. And now we're talking about one of the most expensive cities in the country. So, I mean, yeah, but before we just go into all that and my thoughts, what do you think I might be able to help with? What's your financial situation that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I'm kind of just looking to get into the right direction. I have some goals of like living on my own outside of my parents' house. So that's kind of what I want to help. I also just don't have like very good like money sense, I guess. Just kind of like I just get money in and then I just use it, and I try to be responsible. And it doesn't always work out.
Yeah, for sure. So, what made you move back to LA? Where were you and what brought you back?
I was in New York City.
Okay, so I guess technically it is a little cheaper. So, yay.
It was difficult living out there. I had 3 jobs. And then when COVID hit, it kind of hit every business that I was in. And so I moved back.
Man, do you have a college degree?
No.
Do you have any college?
Yeah, I went to theater school for 2 years. So I don't really have any like usable credits.
What do you want to do?
I can do teaching. That's something that I can do, but I'm not settled on it, and I haven't decided if I want to go back to school yet or not.
What do you want to do?
I mean, ideally, I don't know. That's like a hard question for me to answer. A lot of people ask me that. I just don't have like a good answer. Like just nothing seems super interesting enough to do.
Okay. Well, what's important right now then? Because I promise you in every world, in any way whatsoever, that you could make easily double that without a degree right now in Los Angeles doing something else. What I could promise you is, okay, so I kind of have a Panda Express addiction. It happens. So I go into Panda Express a good often because I don't like to pay delivery fees or anything. So I go pick it up. And when I walk in there, plastered on any Panda Express I go to in Austin, which has to have, pretty similar job markets and pays to LA, hiring general managers, desperately needed essentially. And it's like, what is it now? It was like a 70,000. Then I saw 80,000. I think it says $90,000 a year now. You don't need a college degree for that. You could jump into something like that, go through their training and work a management position for Panda Express. Is that is that someone's dream job? Not necessarily. It doesn't sound like the most luxurious position, but making close to six figures, you certainly wouldn't have to live at home at that point. So what's most important to you right now?
Yeah, living on my own.
Okay, so income.
Yeah.
Okay, so this special ed assistant job, which sucks because education's extremely important, and then for those that need extra help in school, my goodness, we need the best of the best doing that. And if someone's being paid $23,000 a year in one of the most expensive cities in the country, unfortunately, the best of the best are forced to go somewhere else because they literally just can't live off of that.
Right. Sorry.
It's okay. That's just impossible. It's just impossible. So, I mean, that situation sucks, but whatever. We have to have this conversation based on the real world. So I love that you're in that position and helping. You need to make double the money starting an hour from now.
Yeah, I agree. And that's my biggest detractor from the job is that I can do it sustainably, but it's like it's really for nothing, and it takes so long to get to. Yeah, I need better income. They should be paying higher income. But
how'd you get this job? What made you choose this job? What was your job hunt? How'd that all look?
Yeah, so I work with my mom. My mom's a special ed teacher, and we live and work together. So they needed help and kind of were begging me to come work for them, and it's actually the school that I went to. So,
well, if they were begging you to come work for them, they should have paid you more if they were that desperate.
I know. Yeah, they're begging, but they're not really offering. So,
well, starting tonight, resume, we get that together. Use any resume building service online. And then we're applying to any and every job that pays minimum $40,000 a year. Try to even get 50. Consider that thing that I talked about. The service industry right now, tech and construction are the industries that have stepped back. Service is still desperately trying to hire. They just cannot fill the positions. They are willing to pay good money. If that means a manager job that is oddly high paying at an odd, fast food joint, it is worth it temporarily so you can get yourself in the right track financially.
Yeah. I agree too. Yeah. It's something that I've been trying to push on to my mom for a while to just stay out of it. Because I feel like I can tell that it would be more beneficial to just get any job that pays more. Because that's kind of what it is right now in this economy.
Yeah, and if your goal is to get out on your own and start essentially just living your life, especially at 26, we need to start getting some stuff in order. So let's take a look at your checking account, see how this money even operates. We had a beginning balance of $1,428, and in 2000 out 1,500. So we ended with 2,000. That's a balance that I'm happy with, especially for someone that doesn't have to pay rent. Target and Costco's usually like, okay, we can probably justify that. You might be getting more than you need, but Target, you never really know. That could be BS. It could be...
Costco is just gas. I don't actually shop there.
Got $138 of gas?
Yeah, I have a clunker.
Okay, because I see Costco gas, but then I see Costco warehouse as well. Okay, either way. But then you definitely do things like Starbucks and Chipotle and Amazon Prime and Venmoing out money. El Poco Loco, Charlie's, Sunco something, and ACS Discovery Shop, and Uncle Joe's Donuts, and Taste of Cherry, and Starbucks, and Wine Merchants, PayPaling out something, Taste of Cherry. Oh, okay, so, yep, there's your $9.86 that came in. My goodness, it's like nothing. And then GoFundMe support, you're giving out $5. I love the happy spirit. You need to be getting GoFundMe'd, not you sending money out.
Oh, I know. And I send money to my friends too.
No, that stops today. Plato's Closet, another GoFundMe, IHOP, JFK, Shake Shacks. Okay, so 8 Shake Shack at the airport, and Yogurt Shop, Ventra, CK Store, Beaches, West Hollywood, McDonald's, PayPal. So you gotta stop with the spending. This is, you're sending money out to friends. You're sending money out for GoFundMe's. You're just spending money out on restaurants and wine places and BS. You can't afford it making barely over $20,000 a year in one of the most expensive cities in the country.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So why do you do it if you know?
Sorry?
Why do you do it if you know it's bad?
It's like life stresses, guilt. Yeah. Different
coping mechanisms for all that stuff then?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a natural thing, especially in, Western culture. Absolutely. You're certainly not a bad person for that. We just need to find different coping mechanisms for that thing, for just everything, mental health and everything. So beginning balance in your savings, 1,717. Closing balances, 1,721. So nothing. I think that was like the accrued interest that probably, bumped it up. Yeah, interest paid, 418. Didn't put any money in. So we certainly have under a desired emergency fund as well. So that's a scary situation. But before we look into everything else, those are the 2 documents I got. Yeah, this car you bought from your friend for like $900. I assume you just paid cash.
Yeah.
Do you have any student loans from your time studying theater?
Yeah, I have about 11,000 left. I did sign up for Joe Biden's thing, which would knock out a lot of it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen though. At this point, this is a very conservative Supreme Court, so it's highly likely that they will not allow it to stand in its current format. So that $11,000 is something you're going to have to pay back. What is the interest rate on those loans?
I'm not sure. I don't know off the top of my head.
Do you have any other debts?
No.
Good. Well, that is good because you're not in a situation where you can really afford much else.
Yeah, I didn't get a credit card for a reason.
Yeah.
I will need to eventually, I know.
Well, I don't know. Depends if you can actually manage it. Right now, you're spending money that you really shouldn't because your emergency fund is at $1,700. That's really not good. We need to get that to $10,000. What's clearly the main issue here, we have a massive income issue. $23,000 a year, can't do that. $50,000 minimum is what we need to aim for getting. Build up your resume, best resume you can, apply to anything and everything within, 30 minutes to an hour from you, which I know in LA is, whatever. It takes forever to get anywhere. So that is mission number 1. We start that tonight. And then besides that, non-official financial advice, what I would do in your shoes while you're doing that and trying to apply and going through interviews and getting minimum $50,000 a year, this money that's coming in, so through the school, you probably have good health insurance. Do you have to pay a premium on that?
For health insurance? No.
Okay, so your mandatory expenses are car insurance and gas. Other than that, you shouldn't have any other expenses. This 2-page statement for spending should turn into 3 line items, essentially. Gas, any groceries you have to get for home, and your car insurance. That is pretty much it. Other than that, everything else is going to get to $10,000 as quick as you can in your savings account. Even if you make a lot of money and you get a job with even $100,000 a year, something crazy, we're still not moving out until you get $10,000 set aside for an emergency fund.
Okay.
Yes, because we do not want to get you in a bad situation. You can get in a dangerous situation. Now, if you make $50,000 a year and you're living at home and those expenses, like I said, are like 3 line items, then you should have no trouble getting to a quick $10,000. With what you bring in now, let's take out your mom that you stay with, she's not charging any rent or anything, right?
No.
Okay. So you probably have an extra, at least after mandatory expenses, $1,250 a month. With the remaining $8,500, you could do that in 6 months, 6 to 7 months, $1,250 a month being put in your savings, which you can do because you have no expenses. You could do even more if you want. You could drive Uber Eats every day after work. You could go do all this stuff. $10,000 is what we need to hit now. When you get that, whether before or after the job, a few things have to line up to move out. You need to, 1, have the job where you make $50,000 minimum. 2, have the $10,000 saved up on the side in your emergency fund. One of those will come before the other. Doesn't matter. We wait till those 2 things are hit, and then that equals green light, go apartment searching.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
What is this car?
Yeah, it's a Kia Soul.
What was the year?
2010.
How many miles?
135K.
Okay. After the 10,000, we don't need to aggressively do it as well, but we should probably try to save up an extra $10,000. Hopefully your new job will help with this, but just for a car fund. So when that car, the expenses become more expensive than the car is worth, then we essentially would get $10,000, go buy a $10,000 car in cash. We definitely don't want to go into debt. The student loans thing, it's interesting. So in your situation, especially as we're trying to get to these goals, we're not paying on it until it starts back up. And when it does, you need to look at the interest rate. If it's 4% or less, then I do minimum monthly payment until it's paid off. And then the rest that you would throw at it should go into different investments because the market will beat that every time. Now, if it is above 4%, we pay it off quicker.
Okay.
And if it is much more than 4%, we aggressively pay it off like it's a terrible debt because it is. Now, if it is below 4% and you're paying the minimum monthly payments, that extra money that you would put towards it needs to go to investments. If it's not going to investments and it's just going to spending money on fun, then just pay it off early. Then just put that extra money towards the student loans because then that extra money is not working for you. We only pay the minimum monthly payments on student loans if the extra money would go to investments that will outperform any negative interest on the student loans. Does that make sense?
No, sorry. Sorry. It does. Parts of it doesn't. So the minimum payment for 4% when the payments start back up again, if you're saying it's 4 or more, I should pay on it quicker. And then the investments, how would I even set that up? How would I set up investments for my loan?
Yeah, for sure. So if it's 4% or less, then minimum monthly payment, then anything else that you would normally put on top of it to pay it off early, you'll put into an investment account. There's a couple different options. I'm thinking for your sake at your income level, we're just going to focus on maxing out the Roth IRA every year. You can do that through a few different options. You can open up a Roth IRA through something like Acorns. I have an Acorns link in my description that you can use. You put $5 in, you get a free $5. You can follow that link and sign up through it there. And you can pick different kind of portfolios that you want that to go into. You can also use something like Fidelity. That's where my Roth IRA is based. There you can get into different index funds or mutual funds. It's all very easy. All you do is just transfer the money and select the funds that they go into. The apps for both Acorns and Fidelity make it incredibly easy. That's not something we're really worrying about right now. That's definitely a future problem or a future thing. It's going to be next fall. But again, if you are, instead of investing that extra money, spending it on fun, then no, we're taking that money and we're putting it towards paying off the student loans early.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Because
the only justification is we're beating it in the market.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult.
It is. That's why we need you to have your emergency fund. And that's why we need you to have a much better paying job. $50,000 for you in your situation in your city is the floor. We're looking more $60,000.
Yeah, it's pretty garbage. We're trying to work on it.
And again, that means doing a job that might not be your dream job. I use Panda Express all the time as an option because I see it constantly. They're desperately trying to get general managers for like $90,000 a year. Plus bonuses, I think, if I remember right on the sign. That's incredible. You should just go do that right now. But that's an example. You could go work a desk job, customer service, something, make like 40, 50, maybe $60,000 a year. That's more comfortable than standing on your feet and running a shop. But do what's uncomfortable now to get yourself in a better spot for a better future. And at that point, if you do want to go back to school, many places you could work even maybe a management job at Target. Target they'll pay for you to go back to school. They'll pay for your semester after the semester is done and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do if you find a career path that you're interested in. Maybe take a career quiz online and it can point you in a direction. So we want you to either make a lot of money doing a job you don't like and then cash flowing school at that point, or maybe at that point you take a job that's a little less if it's maybe at Target. Definitely not just the standard $15 an hour one, We'll do a management job and then, maybe they can cover school. But that's after you make sure rent's already taken care of, you have a car fund for your older, higher miles car, and you are investing, maxing out a Roth IRA every year, $6,000 minimum, and we are still paying on these student loans if the interest rates are low, and you have an emergency fund, if I didn't say that already. So there's a lot of things to take into account here. There's a step-by-step process. What you need to worry about now is getting that $10,000 and getting minimum $50,000 a year income. That's step one.
Yeah, I agree. Because if I'm not loving this job, I might as well just do another job that I don't love that pays more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's certainly a way to look at it. And it also comes down to sacrifice as well. You got to stop all the BS spending.
Yeah. All right. I can do that.
Any final thoughts?
No, I just appreciate the guidance and helping me work through this. I just I feel like I'm getting some good information from parents and friends, etc. But I just wanted to make sure that I'm doing right things. But this is some new ideas here that I can look towards. So that's good. Thank you.
For Jordan, she's certainly not making enough money for the city she's in, but her debt situation isn't that bad. Hopefully these are low interest rates at $11,000. The car probably needs to get a new car pretty soon, but I think she actually got a pretty good deal on that. And then she needs to make a lot more money and just take care of this emergency fund. But she's not in a terrible place, and I can see her getting to a good place very quickly. Hammer Financial score 4 out of 10. Follow all the fun links in the description below, which also includes all the socials, and subscribe. Thanks.